So some stuff popped up on my YouTube feed, and it seems to be trending happiness. Oh, well, happiness. So I figured I'd talk about happiness, but first comes a disclaimer. I am not a mental health professional. I may be mental myself, but I can't help or fix you. So please don't take anything I say as advice to you. This is simply my personal experience. Did that make a good disclaimer? I'm not a medical professional. Don't listen to me. Oh, okay, that should cover everything. Happiness. Wow, that's a loaded one. The founding fathers said we had the right to the pursuit of happiness. Didn't say we'd find it, but we definitely can, pursue it and follow after it and try to, grab some out of life. What makes people happy? Heck, I don't know. What makes me happy? It used to be chocolate and cake, but I've had to give that up because though it might have made me happy emotionally, it made my body extremely unhappy. So, yeah, I had to throw that to the side. What else made me happy? When I was young, the great outdoors. I loved to play outside. I loved to be under the trees. I loved to see little birds. I loved flowers. I loved everything in nature. So nature made me happy. And you know it still does. Yep. I think if I'm really, really depressed, and I've had some serious moments since my husband died last year, I just step outside for a moment and I just drink it all in. The way the trees look and move with a slight wind, the way leaves are, some brown and gold, some are green because I'm in Florida. The birds singing, little lizards running around, even the bees going from flower to flower. I find a great deal of peace and happiness in the natural world. When I had my car and I was driving, I liked to go to the beach a lot, and especially early morning like this, and walk. There was this little boardwalk that went through the marshes and ended up at the other side of the ocean. There was the ocean when you first arrived in the parking lot, and then you'd go through the boardwalk through the the shrubbery and whatnot, and there on the other end would also be the ocean, and it's like a peninsula, I guess you'd call it. Yeah. And that brought me a great deal of peace. I think peace is a great part of happiness, being at peace in your soul. So what if you're not happy? What do you do? I'm not sure. I know what I would do. When my husband became ill, my daughter, my youngest, had gone off to college in Pennsylvania. I was in Maine. My other two kids were in Florida, and one was in Texas. And I thought about Texas, but it was very pricey, and I didn't know Texas. And I knew my oldest daughter was there, but it just felt too foreign. Now, I knew Florida because we had been coming down here since, I think, 1992. We were working snowbirds, a family of 5. And so I knew this area, the Tampa Bay area, well. And we had lived here so many years. It was, the back of my hand, as they say. And my 2 sons, my daughter-in-law and my grandson, were down here. Actually, at the time, only one son was here in Florida. No, they all were here. I'm sorry. I get my stories mixed up. So I decided, that's the majority of my family. That's my grandson. My husband might have to go into a nursing home. I think I'm going to go to Florida. And so I did, and I sold everything up north. And, in your late 50s, I mean, the house was paid off. we had invested so much money into it. And I lost about $50,000 on that deal. Yeah. So did that make me unhappy? Yeah. Yeah, it made me pretty unhappy. And eventually I just had to let it go and say, you know what? Then was then, this is now, and this is where I'm at. I think that's a lot to do with my happiness when I am willing to just say, doesn't matter. It's gone. So, and that's a lot of life, for me. I've had to let go of so many things. My life hasn't been easy, but it hasn't been as hard as some. So I think perspective is really important for me, how I look at things. It could be worse. Sometimes that makes me really mad. I'm like, yes, but it could be better, way better. Yeah, it could be. And a lot of it was my mistakes. A lot of it was my husband not wanting to listen to me and not do what I had suggested. A lot of it was just poor luck. I mean, not all of us are going to be real lucky, and not all of us are going to grasp opportunity when we see it. We don't even recognize it sometimes. It's like after the fact, why didn't I do that? But what are you going to do? You didn't do it. And so this is where you're at. And what do you do now? I guess that's where I'm at. I have this little trailer in Florida. The park rent is one of the lower in the area, and that's why I chose this park. It had a couple of mobile homes that were really cheap at the time, and the rent was, I think, the second lowest, and it goes up every year, and it's going up more than the 3%. I was told that it generally goes up. So that's a concern for me, and I do think about selling, and I don't know. I love nature. I think happiness for me would be a little trailer and a V6 or a V8 vehicle that I could pull it with. My only problem is figuring out, can I afford campgrounds if I want to do the East, or I've been thinking a lot about the Great Lakes. So for me, happiness, I think, would be being able to get out of Florida in the summer. Oh, Lord, it is hot, humid, nasty, just nasty, It's kind of like walking into a steam room and staying there, unless you have air conditioning, which is also scary during hurricane season, which starts about June and ends somewhere at the end of November, I believe. And you can lose your electricity. Oh, my husband was so scared of that because he had COPD and breathing was an issue. And the humidity, you lose your electric. It's frightening. One point I said, I'm going to go start the car. I'm going to have to call the ambulance and have them get you out of the house and into the car. I thought I was going to have to take him to the hospital and have them, house him for a little while. But thank goodness it started to get hot, but the electricity came back on. We were able to stay in the house. But stuff happens, so I think about that a lot too. Where would I be happiest? For me, happiness is around my children. I just love my children. They're my best friends. We're tight. We were close early on, various reasons why. But I don't want to go into all of that. I want to stick on the subject of happiness and being old like I am. My mind wanders. If you're a young person, adventure, I think, is key. Sometimes we get locked into life situations and we're afraid to change. We're afraid to try something new. That happens when you get old too. My husband was getting sick and we didn't realize it, and he'd be like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. And I'd be like, let's do something else. And he says, I don't know how to do anything else. Don't sell yourself short. Yeah, you know how to do other things. Sure we do. We all know how to do other things, and we know how to learn. Don't cut your, don't cut off your nose to spite your face, as the old saying goes. So, to me, happiness is being around the people I love, going on new adventures, changing things up, switching things around. Yeah, it's scary. I'm scared to sell this because can I get into another one? No. My income is so low that I will not qualify. I don't qualify for this trailer park, but because I came here when I did qualify, they can't kick me out. So that's a biggie. To keep this place and have the security without the adventure, or to sell it and have adventure without the security. It's a trade-off. That's life, isn't it? A trade-off. So, when I'm feeling blue, I go for a walk. Except in the summer. So, yeah. Decisions, things to do, being happy, letting go. Let go of the past. What good is it going to do you? Holding grudges. It's not going to help. Not going to help. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I wish you all the happiness in the world. Bye.